Hello and welcome to The 10, the show where we bring you the top 10 stories of each week. I'm Sarah Winkleman, and joining me here today is Ashley Wolf and Kimberly Wethel.
Oh, no, I don't like hearing about that. And like the scariest thing to me was, this is kind of unrelated, but for my women's studies class, we have literally this huge book of maps of all these different things that go on in other countries around the world. And a lot of it's domestic violence and rape and kidnapping and all this stuff. And the scariest part was like all the stuff that goes unreported.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that is not known about. Like, we hear these cases and we're like, oh my goodness, there's so many. But think about the fact that of all the ones we hear about, there's so many more that we'll never even hear of. Exactly. And even like with countries here, it's like a really big deal, but with some countries, it's just like, okay, we lost another one today. Like, it's so sad because it just is so common.
There's so many like violent interactions with death that occur in America, and we're supposed to be like the peaceful country that keeps everybody sane and on the same track, and we're like, I feel like we're the most violent. But I think it's also like what you said, we have ours like broadcasted, like our news are on top of things. We portray so much negativity when other countries are like, we're not gonna broadcast that we had so and so and so die today. Like, I think America's just more like proactive.
It's all about who is the one behind the desk deciding what news is going to get aired or what is worthy of news. Because I feel like here, even though we're a little bit, I think we're desensitized to the violence. So when people are like, yeah, let's just run it, if it bleeds, it leads, and that's kind of the motto, which is really sad.
I heard from a professor that America like thrives on tragedy. And that's what we want to hear in our daily lives, is everybody else's problems so that we can feel better about our own.
Unfortunately, it really is.
And we get nostalgic about it too, and it's kind of messed up. Like we get nostalgic about 9/11. Like, that's really kind of messed up. I mean, granted, we're supposed to be remembering the lives that were lost that day.
Right.
But people will like, you'll see it everywhere on your news feed. People from around the country will be like, never forget 9/11. It's like, you weren't there. You were like 5 years old.
Right.
So I think we like to use it as nostalgia almost. Like,
Earlier this week, a Utah man was being held on $10,000 bail after sheriff deputies tracked the GPS data of a series of 911 calls. Police arrived to find him drunk and pointing a rifle at a teenage girl during an argument over the board game Battleship. 68-year-old John Venezuela was being held in Utah County Jail on charges of unlawful detention involving domestic violence and intoxication. The phone hadn't been activated on a phone network, but it did carry GPS data that could be tracked. What in the world? Why was this man playing Battleship with this teenage girl? I didn't see a connection. They weren't family or anything.
That's what I was gonna say. Why in the first place were they playing Battleship? Because that's just gonna lead to some problems right there.
It was in a trailer park, so I'm guessing it was like
it's just getting weirder.
It's Utah.
And
Let's put it in the back of our mind.
Well, mass murderer Charles Manson will be tying the knot to a 26-year-old woman next month after obtaining a marriage license on November 7th. The 80-year-old and his bride-to-be, who runs websites that advocate for Manson's innocence, they would have gotten married sooner if Manson had not racked up 3 prison violations of possessing a weapon, threatening staff, and refusing to provide a urine sample.
What a great catch.
What? How old is she? 26?
Yeah.
And he's 80?
Yep.
That's like my grandpa. That's me marrying my grandpa.
You're not 26.
Okay, I'm saying, but like, okay, I'm 18 and my grandpa would be like younger. Like, once I'm 26, he'll be like in his 80s. Guys, we gotta think about this. That's gross.
That is.
A little bit. I mean, a lot.
I mean, it just makes me feel a little bit forever alone. Like, a mass murderer can get a spouse.
Forever alone.
And I can't even get a date.
Sorry.
So.
A northern white rhino has died at a San Diego zoo, leaving only 5 worldwide and bringing the species closer to extinction. There are no known to be living in the wild, closest one being in Kenya and the rest in zoos. Rhinos are killed by poachers almost exclusively for their horns, which sell for tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, we have.
I've never even seen a white rhino before, and because of these hunters, I probably never will. So, if you're listening out there, stop. Just
Please stop. Any poachers watching WBA TV right now, we've had enough. Thank you.